Hey everybody, it's Rod with Van Guns coming back at you with another video. Today, I want to ask the question, is the 38 Special dead? So the 38 Special, this cartridge has been around for 100 years. It's kind of an interesting cartridge because they call it a 38, but it really isn't a 38. This thing fires a 357 bullet. So why is it called the 38 Special? Well, the special, I think, is the part that identifies it. They measured it based on the case diameter rather than the bullet diameter, or something to that effect. It was some kind of modified 38 caliber case, and then they put a 357 bullet in it and called it the 38 Special. I don't want to go into the deep history of that, but it's something to that effect. Some people in the comments might go, well, actually it was, and that's fine. Whatever it was, it was. But it does fire a 357 bullet. Now that's why when they came out with the 357 Magnum, they basically lengthened this case and built the thing to take way higher chamber pressures. The funny thing about it is they didn't need to lengthen the case for the 357 Magnum. They did it so that nobody would accidentally load a 357 Magnum into a 38 Special revolver, because that would have had catastrophic results. Because the chamber pressures in the 357 Magnum are double what they are in the 38 Special, almost exactly double. And the power is much greater. So the guns, 357 Magnum guns, had to be specially built to handle that extra pressure. Is that all the 38 Special can offer us these days? Is just the light duty work for 357 Magnum revolver owners? Or is there more that this cartridge can offer in today's world? And I think maybe is the answer. But we're going to explore that just a little bit right now as we go into the uses in the modern world for 38 Special. So the 38 Special has similar power to the little 380 ACP. And if you look at back in the day, before we had Plus P and all the special stuff we have today, both of these cartridges put out very similar power. 38 Special just slightly, ever so slightly, more powerful than the 380 ACP. But look at the size difference in the cartridge. I mean, they're tiny. I'll put it up over here on the side. So the 380 ACP offered a much smaller, lighter cartridge. You could make smaller guns because the cartridge was so small. And today, that's a huge advantage to 380. We've got these little pocket pistols today, like the Ruger LCP and a bunch of other ones that shoot the 380 ACP, and this thing is tiny. Now you compare that to the Smith & Wesson Model 36 revolver. This is a 5-shot revolver, chambered in 38 Special. And then this is the little Ruger. I mean, the Ruger's way smaller, I mean, you can put this in your pocket. This one, yeah, you better have pretty big cargo pant pockets to get that one in there. So you can see a huge advantage there. This is a 38 Special Plus P. And to the benefit of the 38 Special, you can buy Plus P loads for 38 Special designed to be fired in modern 38 Special guns or in 357 Magnum guns that hit way harder than any 380 you're going to find. They just can't. You can get this 38 Special. You get a hot Plus P load, and you're getting very close to 9mm power. Not quite, but nowhere near 9mm Plus P, by the way. But you get pretty close to base 9mm power, old school 9mm power with the Plus Ps. So that allows the 38 Special to kind of be in between 9mm and 380 in this modern world that we live in. But still, the cartridge is big and bulky, and the revolvers are big and bulky. And there's really not a whole lot of semi-automatic guns that will function well with rimmed revolver cartridges. So you don't even really want to go there. So you're really stuck with revolvers with 38 Special. I really think the only thing keeping 38 Special on the shelves is that 357 Magnum revolver owners use it for target practice. I really do. And there are still some revolver folks that like to carry some of these Smith & Wesson airweight revolvers, that weigh almost nothing. But you're limited to 5 shots. Now, in all fairness, let's take a look at that Ruger 380 again. This thing, the base capacity on this from Ruger is 6 shots. So it's only one more than that Smith & Wesson Model 36, and most of the little baby revolvers are 5 shots. Now, this one's set up with the 7-rounder. That's a Ruger 7-round magazine. It's got a little bit of extra hanging off the end there. So we really got a 2-shot advantage here. In theory, if you wanted to be crazy, you can get a 10-rounder for this thing, but it's kind of ridiculous. So the bottom line is you're getting a couple extra shots with the 380. But I'll tell you something right now as an advantage to the 38 Special over this gun. I can shoot way better with this gun than this gun. This gun I get a much better grip on. This gun has like no recoil with 38s. Even with hot plus P loads, this gun's recoil is less than this gun. Because this gun weighs less than half what this gun weighs. I don't care so much about weight when I'm carrying a firearm as I do size. I like the Ruger's size, but I wish this thing weighed about 4 or 5 ounces more because it would be easier to control. Even though 380 is an anemic cartridge, in this tiny little gun, it's hard to get a grip on the gun. It kind of moves around and gets a little squirrely on you. Yeah, you can handle it, but it's a little squirrely. I talked about that in my Ruger LCP video. This gun, even a recoil-shy person can shoot reasonably powerful 38 Special plus P loads in this gun without feeling any kind of, oh my God, this thing kicks hard. It just doesn't kick that hard. And that can mean, that can be a huge difference in terms of keeping your rounds on target in the vital zone. God forbid if you ever have to defend yourself with it. I think I'm way more accurate with this. I've been shooting pistols for 40 years. I mean, regularly, even competitively at times. And I can shoot this way better than I can shoot this. So I'd imagine a novice gun owner this thing would just seem like a tack driver compared to this. Even though this gun is not any more accurate necessarily than this gun, it's just you could shoot it easier, most likely. So now this, the Model 36, is kind of the base for a bunch of other Smith & Wesson revolvers. That some of them with aluminum and scandium frames that get this thing down to well under 20 ounces loaded. Still a little heavier than this, but a lot lighter than this. And it becomes a viable carry gun, in my opinion. You're never going to get a 38 Special revolver as small as this gun. So if ultimate size is the number one factor for you in carrying a firearm, then something like this 380 LCP from Ruger or one of the other guns out there, Smith & Wesson's, everybody's got a little micro 380. If size is the only thing you're concerned about, then 380's going to just blow 38 Special out of the water. There's just no comparison. But I think you'll shoot better with one of these revolvers as far as accuracy. Now, the other problem with revolvers is reload time is much, no matter how good you get with speed loaders, it ain't as fast as just dropping a magazine and slapping another magazine in the semi-auto pistol. So you'll always be at a disadvantage. If you can't get the job done in 5, you're in trouble. A semi-auto pistol, you can reload those pretty quickly. So keep that in mind. That's always been a disadvantage to revolvers over semi-automatic pistols. And honestly, semi-automatic pistols today are so reliable in general that the advantage of the revolver reliability, which they are more reliable, I don't care what anyone says, a revolver is in good condition, is always going to be more reliable because it's like 99.9999% reliable. There's always chances for misfeeds and other issues with semi-autos, even perfect semi-automatic pistols. But the difference today now is so slim that most shooters are willing to take that ever so slight reliability risk with a semi-auto to get all the benefits that I just went over with semi-automatics. And, honestly, some semi-automatics you can fire faster as well. You can dump your mag much quicker than you can, for the most part, with a revolver. Jerry Michalek might have something to say about that, but for most people, I think a semi-automatic pistol's easier to get all your rounds down range in a fast fashion without being a professional shooter. So all those are advantages in favor of 380 over 38 Special. So some of the modern revolver platforms are hammerless. They slip in and out of purses and holsters much easier without snagging on clothing. They've they've done a lot to try and keep these 38 special little miniature revolvers alive and well. So now the question comes down to actual ballistics. And we're going to talk a little about the ballistics of these two cartridges and how they compare to 9mm. My opinion is 9mm is better than both of these cartridges for carry. You can buy amazing micro 9mm pistols that are relatively soft shooting, can handle some of the hotter 9mm loads, and you're better off no matter how you slice it. You're going to get anywhere from 10 to 13 rounds in a micro 9 of capacity, and 9mm with self-defense loads is better than anything you can get in 38 special, even plus P, plus P, plus, whatever, right? It just is. They have really honed the 9mm cartridge to get every smidgen of power that they can get out of the 9. So we'll take a quick look at the ballistic differences, and then you can decide how you feel about it. So with no further ado, let's take a quick peek at that. So here you can see the 380 is getting a little more velocity, but has a smaller bullet than the 38 special. And you can see the plus P has a big bump in power, but still can't touch the 9mm. Okay, so I think there's really a niche now. I think 38 Special is going to find itself as a niche cartridge. It will continue to be that light, soft shooting, practice and target and fun, plinking cartridge for people who own 357 Magnum revolvers. But as an actual carry gun or daily driver, if you will, I think 38 Special is really down to a niche. I love that little 38 Smith & Wesson Model 36. I don't care that it's a little heavier. I have carried that gun on occasion. I don't carry it often. It shoots so well. It really shoots well. I am way more accurate with that gun than my Ruger LCP, which I carry more often. But that is one of the advantages of shooting 38 Special plus P out of a little bit heavier revolver. But we talked about the disadvantages, so it's kind of up to you how you feel about whether you think a 38 Special would be an ideal round for you to carry. It's definitely, with plus P loads, going to outperform ballistically the 380, as you saw on these charts here. So I hope that was helpful. Look forward to hearing your comments, and we'll see you next time right here on Van Guns.